Matthew Yussman has just lived through a nightmare.
It was 12 hours of hell.
Two masked gunmen strap what he thinks is dynamite to his chest, then force him to rob his own credit union. If he refuses, the bad guys hit a button, blowing Matthew and his 70-year-old mother to bits.
Did you think that bomb might explode?
Oh, I was convinced.
Thankfully, the explosives are fake. But what's about to blow up in Matthew's face is all too real.
They cuffed you.
They cuffed me.
After all this?
And I said, what are you doing? Am I under arrest?
You went from victim to being suspect.
Right away.
Cops believe this is all a setup, that Matthew actually tortured his mom to steal money from his own credit union.
That you staged this whole thing?
Yep, they thought it was an inside job.
Did the investigators think you were covering up for Matthew?
Yes. Yes.
Detectives tell Matthew the best way to clear his name is to take a lie detector test, and that's what really blows up.
The police told you
Yes.
after you took the polygraph that you failed.
Failed it, yes. I'll never forget the guy looking me square in the eye and said, you know what, just be a man and confess. You know you did it.
Did you consider the possibility that you'd end up in prison?
Oh, yeah.
What Matthew doesn't know is the same thing is happening to other people around the country. 1,000 miles away in Tennessee, police are investigating other employees suspected of robbing their own banks.
This morning, we had the abduction of a family, a bank employee and his family. The bank employee was instructed to go in and retrieve money.
Exact same operation, exact same MO. And again, kidnapping families.
Newspaper reporter Jamie Satterfield covered the bizarre robberies for the Knoxville News.
I've never seen a crime operation, if you will, that was so elaborate and detailed.
Here at the Y-12 Federal Credit Union, surveillance cameras show a bank executive frantically clearing out vaults. He claims masked men were holding his family hostage.
It was, we've got somebody watching your daughter and we're gonna have him rape and kill her. You know, it was very dramatic threats.
Then on the other side of Knoxville, a loan officer at SmartBank is forced to steal nearly $200,000, claiming his wife and son were about to be butchered.
They would say to the bank employees, if you don't do exactly what we tell you to do, we're going to cut off an ear.
Then Brooke Lyons, a teller at Northeast Community Credit Union outside Knoxville, catches someone's evil eye.
You were the face of that credit union.
Yes. The bank had on our website, a directory that had all of our names and pictures and what we done.
They found you there, did the research,
Oh yeah.
and hunted you down to your home.
They hid cameras outside my house so they could watch us and learn our routine.
Who does this?
Very sick individuals.
So sick, they actually threatened an innocent child, Brooke's 3-year-old son, Carson.
And I turned around and there he was.
What did you see first?
He had a gun and a crowbar. They were wearing like army type camo jackets.
Were their faces covered?
Yeah, they both wore masks.
And at this point you're thinking, what?
That this is the last time I'm ever gonna see my little boy.
He actually pointed the gun at your son's head.
He pointed it at Carson. And he said as long as I done what he said, that neither one of us were gonna get hurt.
Did you believe him?
No.
What did they say to you?
He said, get in the car, we're gonna rob your bank today.
Brooke tells me they blindfolded her and shoved her in the back seat with Carson.
What happened next?
We went to the credit union. You're gonna go in, you're gonna get $350,000. No die packs, no wires, no bait money. And if the cops get called, that's when Carson's gonna get hurt.
So what do you do?
I got the bag and I went in.
But before she walks inside, Brooke hugs her little boy one last time.
How tightly did you hold Carson?
With everything I had in me. I mean, I didn't want to let him go. Because I thought that was the last time I was ever gonna hold him.
A security camera captures these heartbreaking images as Brooke enters the bank agonized, pleading for her boss to open the vault.
And the only thing I could get out was, I need you to unlock the vault. They have Carson, they have guns. They took us from my driveway. And she just looked at me.
And how did she respond?
She didn't care. She just stood there.
Carson is outside in the car with the robbers
Yeah.
who have guns.
And no one cared. The only thing she could look at me and say was, "It's my job on the line."
My job on the line. It's your son's life on the line.
That's exactly what I said.
Brooke tells everyone in the bank the guys holding Carson will kill him if they call the cops. Despite that, her boss calls her boyfriend, who's a police officer, and he dials 911.
She said a girl came running in that she works with saying that there were two guys that came to her house last night.
And they got guns?
Apparently, she said she came in with a bag wanting her to open the vault.
I was scared to death. I was going to go out, and they were going to be gone.
With cops on the way, Brooke runs toward the door, her heart racing.
They could have taken off at any time with your 3-year-old son.
Yeah. And I knew what was going through my head was, if I can just get back outside to him. If I can just hold him one more time and just tell him it's going to be okay. I remember grabbing the bag and running outside. I got in the car, and I remember throwing myself on top of Carson, and I just started begging.
What did you say?
Said that I had done what they'd asked me to, and she went and locked the vault, and for them to please don't kill us.
Brooke clings to little Carson, but suddenly the two men who threatened to kill Brooke and her little boy have a change of heart.
And what did they say?
No harm, no foul, nobody saw our faces. Like, it wasn't a big deal.
It was just their job.
We weren't people to them.
Just pawns.
That's it.
Brooke says the bad guys drive her to a remote field, give her back her phone, and then take off in a dark SUV.
How long till the police got there?
Maybe 5 minutes. I was crying and hysterical, and Carson was crying, and I was in shock.
Were you treated like a victim or a suspect at this point?
A suspect.
They thought you were in cahoots.
On the worst day of my life, when I thought I was going to die, you're wasting time interrogating me when you should be out looking for who done it.
Up next, cops are finally chasing the real bad guys, who up until now have been laughing at them all the way to the bank.
How do you even make up that scenario?
It's not possible.
Finally, authorities uncover a bizarre pattern. A rash of stolen cars before each horrific heist. And then immediately after the robbery,
They would burn them.